Supplementary and complementary angles. Supplementary angles are basically just angles that add up to 180 degrees. And complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. An easy way to remember this is that each P is worth, imagine each P is worth 90 degrees. So 90 and 90 is 180 degrees. Complementary only has one P. So that's 90 degrees. Each P is worth 90 degrees. That's just a way to remember that. So let's look at complementary angles now. Let's look at complementary angles. They add up to 90 degrees. So basically I can take a 90-degree angle like I have here. This angle here, CBD, is 90 degrees. So that angle is 90 degrees. Then I can add another segment in between with the same vertex, and I can have two angles like this angle and this angle. They add up to 90 degrees because they're part of this 90-degree angle. So if I just split it, I could split it in half or just in two different angles. These two will always add up to 90 degrees. So let's look at angle CBA. Let's measure that. Right now it's 59 degrees. And I can make it bigger or smaller. But as soon as I do that, if I make it smaller, then this one becomes bigger. But the sum is always going to be 90 degrees. So this one here, this angle over here is angle ABD. It's 44 and 46. Notice that they always add up to 90 degrees. So I can actually have the computer add that up for me. So measure. I want to calculate this angle plus this angle, and I always get 90 degrees. There's a sum. It's always 90 degrees. So watch this. As I move it, they always add up to 90. So 81 and 9, or 58 and 32. Here we get 70 and 20, and they always add up to 90 degrees. So these two angles, so angle CBD and angle CBA, are called supplementary. No, I mean complementary. Complementary. So for complementary angles, I started with a 90-degree angle. Now for supplementary angles, I'm going to start with a 180-degree angle. Well, a 180-degree angle is a straight angle like this. And now I'm going to split this into two angles. So if I do this, now I have two angles. But these two angles together, they add up to 180 because I just took the straight angle and I cut it into two different angles. And if I move it around like this, I'll always have 180. These two together will always make the straight line. The straight line here is not changing. So let's measure those angles. So what is the angle measure? HEF. The measure of that angle is going to be, so I have it right here, it's 27 degrees. And let's measure this angle, HEG. On the other side, let's measure that angle. So measure that angle, and we get 153. Let's make it into units. So as we see, 27 plus 153 adds up to 180. And if I make this one bigger, then that one's going to be smaller. So 60 and 120, that makes 180. So whatever I take away from here gets added to there. But the sum is always going to be 180. You can notice the sum is always 180. If I go right down the middle, 90 and 90. So I can do the same thing I did before. I can have the computer add these up. So I can calculate this angle plus this angle, and I always get 180. I can just sum over here, and as I move it like this, the two of them always add up to 180. So here we have complementary angles, two angles that always add up to 90 degrees, and supplementary angles, two angles that always add up to 180. Here are two simple examples for you to try. So what is the missing angle? What is the question mark here? So pause the video and then play it to find the answer. Okay? So here is the answer. So if this is 90 degrees, then this and these two are complementary. These are complementary. So that means that this angle is going to be 90 minus 72. 90 degrees minus 72 degrees, so the missing angle is 18 degrees. And the name of this angle is ILJ, angle ILJ. Let's go to the next one. So here, this is a straight angle, so this is 34 degrees, so these two are supplementary. They're supplementary, they must add up to 180. So the question mark is simply 180 minus 34 degrees. 180 degrees minus 34 degrees is 146 degrees. So complementary angles, two angles that add up to 90. Supplementary angles, two angles that add up to 180.